Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello, good evening, and welcome back to the channel where you join me at the Kennedy Space Center here in Florida, starting off part 2 of my tour in the USA, tonight with Corvette. We're going to see the world debut, the first introduction of the new 2020 Corvette C8 Stingray Convertible. The folding roof mechanism following 2 months after the introduction of the coupe that wowed the world, the new mid-engined 8th generation Corvette, where we're going to take a first look at a car of particular interest to me, especially considering how much time I'm spending out here in the USA. Well, this is an incredible location. I'm looking forward to tonight's reveal. We'll see the car introduced, have a good look around it. So let's do this then. The new Corvette Stingray Convertible. The sun is setting, but look at this incredible location for the reveal of tonight's car. It's going to be presented right in front of us, just here, in front of the rockets here at the Kennedy Space Center. So let's do this then. Let's see the car being launched before we can go and see it in more detail any moment now.
See for the first time the world premiere of the 2020 Chevrolet Corvette Convertible.
It's time, and here they come. The roof opening up in front of us. There we go then. Look at that. Oh, another car just coming through here. The new 2020 C8 Convertible of the Corvette Stingray. Ooh, sounds good too. Look at those, look at those. Of course, you can see the hardtop convertible roof mechanism, the first hardtop Corvette. They've all been soft-top convertibles until now. We will head on up to take a proper look. And we're about to see the new race car. The new C8 race car has been launched as well. The C8R is coming onto the stage. Listen to the sounds. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's incredible. Wasn't expecting to see the launch of this tonight at all. The convertibles lining back up, just look at that. Coming back into the light. This is it then, the new 2020 C8 Corvette Stingray Convertible, the first mid-engine convertible Corvette, and also the first generation of a convertible Corvette with a retractable hardtop. So we've got an incredible lineup here to take a look at. The surprise launch of the C8R in the centre, flanked on either side by the new convertibles. This car in the metallic silver has the Z51 package. That's the wing at the rear and a spoiler around the front, and the one at the end is the LT3 trim in rapid blue, the most popular colour from the C8 Corvette coupes. Now, the car was launched just a couple of months ago, and of course the Corvette retains many of the design features of that new mid-engine Corvette, the first mid-engined model after 7 generations and 66 years. And back here you've got a 6.2 litre naturally aspirated V8. It's actually the only car in its class to have a naturally aspirated V8, and it makes 495 brake horsepower, that's 502 metric horsepower and 640 newton meters of torque, meaning the car can get to 60 miles an hour in under 3 seconds. I particularly like the design around the front. When I saw it launched for the first time, you get styling cues here, familiar from the ZR1, also the headlights, the general design, but of course much shorter. There is no front engine. You have the sharp crease lines, you've got a front here, a front trunk, some storage space in the front. But one of the big stories about this is that the actual rear trunk can store 2 sets of golf clubs, matching the storage available in the coupe. And there is a coupe just over there that we can go and see in a moment to compare some of the differences. Of course, you lose the glass window, you lose the ability to see the engine through the rear, which perhaps is a small detriment. You do get a very clean line even still. If you look at the way the window line continues through those buttresses that you have on the tonneau cover at the back, which of course lifts up to allow the folding roof mechanism to work, but it's a very clean finish, a very clean shape to it overall, and that's always one of the most important things. But that's come about because this car was developed alongside the coupe. Both cars were always intended from the very beginning to both be launched as, I suppose, was the new race car. Corvettes have a huge racing history, and I certainly wasn't expecting to see and hear this tonight. It's going to be taking part in the Daytona 24 Hours. That'll be its first running race. We're looking at it sandwiched between the two convertibles, and in fact, let's come and check out this car, the rapid blue, a very, very popular colour. This is the LT3, so you can see it without the rear wing. You have the LT1, LT2, LT3, 3 different levels of trim that start at $60,000 for the coupe. Now, the price of this, and wait for it, is only a $7,500 uplift on the coupe. It's $67,495 here in the US, which is such good value for money, and that's what the Corvette throughout its history has always been. In this generation, continues continues where the previous have left off. Already 500 horsepower. I'd love to have the opportunity to drive one at some point, and I hope that's going to be happening. But just to see them here and to be at the launch event on a very humid and hot night here in Florida has been incredibly special. And this, when it goes racing, what a machine. This color though, this spec with the Z51 or Z51, maybe I should say out here, is really quite special, and we will check out the interior as well in a moment. But just, I guess, take in this design at the back and let's whiz over to go and see the coupe to see how it compares. What an event this is to be here, and look at that. So let's walk around towards the rear so that you can see more of what I was talking about in terms of that glass rear deck. Now the interesting thing about this is this car as a coupe is actually a Targa top. You can remove the roof panel and stow it away inside the rear. There are mounting points to hold it down and store it away, but of course that involves undoing the latch inside, lifting it off and putting it away. It doesn't have just a button to do it automatically, where the new Convertible does it in just 16 seconds up to 30 miles per hour. Many of the design features remain the same though. The front completely the same. Around the sides, those intakes for the cooling, and then towards the back, of course, everything from the rear line down, well, even the actual area or space inside for the storage remains the same. But that is with an interesting number plate. I just noticed the way it's almost disguised and hidden away. Of course it would need a legalized number plate to actually be driven, but that is the coupe. Let's head back just to compare again with the Convertibles. The bubbly startup 6.2 litre naturally aspirated V8. We're gonna have a demonstration though of the roof. See the tonneau cover opening up. Just see a little bit of the roof mechanism from here. As it folds out and over on towards the front window. 16 seconds in total. Rear window raises up and complete. Unfortunately, we can take a step inside. The door handle is actually just underneath this intake at the side. Have a look in here, very driver focused. You have a digital dashboard display. You actually have a data recorder as well, telemetry data and the like. You've got the central infotainment screen. You have these HVAC controls and other options all facing towards the driver, and I'll pop into the passenger side as well. The controls for the roof mechanism and the rear glass are done here. So what you can actually do, even with the roof up, you can lower the rear window, and by lowering the rear window you could get more of the noise if, let's say, the weather was bad or you didn't want the roof down, or you can raise it up to use it as a wind deflector, as you can slightly see now, but it can also come a little bit higher when the roof is tucked away to help with the airflow that goes over the top. And the car actually maintains the same downforce, 400 pounds, as its coupe sibling. So let me take a step just inside very, very quickly so that we can see more of this and what it's like. You've got the 8-speed dual clutch Tremec gearbox created for the car. The first 6 gears all lined up for sporty driving, 7 and 8 more for cruising. You have the start button hidden just around behind here. It will probably tell us that we can't start it right now. Yeah, indeed, no key found at this moment, but it does wake up that digital display in front of us. The squared off steering wheel is really cool. The red 12 o'clock marker stripe that you have up towards the top. The roof line that's low, of course, sporty, but just to explore, have a look around. A more traditional rear view mirror. For the coupe, it actually has a camera system with a digital screen for the rear view. So this is a more traditional mirror, reverting back to that kind of style. Around here, we've got a little bit of storage, just to pop open there. You've got some cup holders inside. Generally nice kind of trim and fit and finish and buttons, but this was one of the things I found the first time round. This is all really quite confusing. These are your air conditioning, climate, those kind of things, where you've also got heated seats, you've got cooled seats coming down here, but really hard to work out what's where, which buttons actually do what. Of course, most things are controlled through the touchscreen, through the infotainment system. Unfortunately, that won't turn on at the moment. The volume knob up towards at the top. Yeah, until there's a key present inside the car. On the steering wheel, you've got the Z mode here, the Z mode. This goes in as well as having your sport and touring and other normal driving modes. This is your configurable, customizable driving mode, where you can set everything up how you would like it. We've got the new Corvette logo there. Oh, we have been able to wake it up, so you can just see a little bit about this. We can go into vehicle. Of course, the car is still waking up at the moment. I think you don't get most of the settings until it's fully on and come to life. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, there's a Wi-Fi hotspot. Just take it towards the right. You can see apps, camera system, personal data recorder. This is where it will log all of your track activities, your video overlays, lap timing, recordings, and it basically has this fantastic system actually completely built into the car, which is Very, very clever and convenient of it. In the LT3 trim, you get the Bose Performance Series sound system with 14 speakers inside this car. 14 speakers, which is incredible. And then over towards the door, as well as having those controls here for the roof mechanism, down here you have the controls to open the front and rear. So if you press the button to come around towards the back to show you this very quickly. So in here, even in the convertible, you have the space for 2 sets of golf clubs. 2 full sets of golf clubs can fit back here, of course, to the rear of where the engine is mounted. That's some incredible storage, exactly the same as the amount of space present in the coupe. And also, this, if we just close it down, is soft close. So you don't have to awkwardly come over the wing if you have the Z51 package to press it down, let's say on the Stingray badge that you have there on the back. But these sharp lines that continue all the way around the back of the car look incredibly promising, striking. They have a lot of presence, and I really like, look at the back of this. Those horizontal lines that you have across it as well emphasize the width of the car, exaggerate its presence as well, the 3D sculpturing that you have with the tail lights, a kind of style that people refer to as looking like the Camaros, but that's brand identity. Of course, it is also a Chevrolet product at the end of the day, the Corvette. Back here with the wing, really, really very cool. The quad exhaust tailpipes that we heard when it started up, just sounding monstrous. I'm going to come over to show you the interior of the Rapid Blue car. So we'll have a look at this and also talk a bit more about the passenger side. Let's just open the door very quickly. Inside here with the LT3 trim, you have the dual tone seats. There are 3 different seat options actually for the car, but in here you've got the bright blue with the navy blue, a very sporty and very smart interior. I actually like this an awful lot. So let me just take a step inside, pull the door closed so that we can see what this is like and talk about something I mentioned at the launch event for the coupe. So when you're sitting in the passenger side, it's very claustrophobic. The way this kind of leans over your knee a bit, it doesn't give you the most amount of space. It's very much a car that is focused on the driver. It's all about the driving position. You can't really see the display in the center. That's very much, again, pointed in the direction of the driver, and you can't see all of the controls. Everything's just pivoted slightly the other way. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're sitting in the passenger seat of a new Corvette C8, it's not a bad place to be. You've got the Stingray plaque back here between the seats on one of the speakers. There's also a bit of space actually behind the seats where you can see the carbon fiber. Lovely, lovely place actually inside. I really think the materials, the general finish is very impressive. It's something that struck me about this car while I'm sitting inside it. And I like this finish, the blue stitching as well around the airbag and the contrast with the dual tone. Then to open the doors, you actually have an electronic release button here. Give that a press and it pops on open. Of course, there's also an emergency release down below if for any reason the electronics don't work, but even the door cards are finished quite nicely too. So I haven't yet shown in the front. Let's just come around and quickly open up the front storage, the front of the car, which is also done down here, where we've got the button just to pop that, and we can come around and have a little look at the amount of space in here, which is just large enough to fit a bag, for example, the size that you could take as a carry-on on an airplane, along with a briefcase or another bag on top of it. So that's shaped and all been thought about in that respect. Close it down, give it a press down, and it clicks into place. But the Rapid Blue really, really does look very, very nice when you see it like this, particularly with the gloss black highlights for the upper sections, for the A-pillars, the roof line, and also the buttresses. And you can have a few different configurations. You can have this body color should you prefer. You could also have the whole roof body color. You could have just the roof panel black. You have a few different options with respect to that. And of course, we go from the convertibles to this ridiculous thing, the Racecar, following Corvette's immense history and successes in motorsports, from the C5R, the C6R, the C7R, and now we have the new C8R. Look at how angry this is. So what do I think about this car? Well, the first time I saw it, it made me think, wow, that is cool. In fact, if I rewind, I spent a couple of months in California about 5 years ago, and back then I actually came incredibly close to buying a C7 Stingray at the time. There's something about the Corvette. It is the real world American sports car, and in this case, it is very much verging on supercar. The convertible open air experience, wind in the hair, it can't really get any better. And one of these fully loaded, is that going to be about $80,000? You get so much car for your money. So given how much time I'm spending now out here in the USA traveling around, it's quite tempting to have a car myself based over here. And if I was going to do that, one of these is certainly up towards the top of my list. I think it would be a very interesting car to spend some time with, to drive, particularly if I'm going to be Florida based, California based, the option to have the roof going down. And just look at them, especially in this trim, the fully loaded trim with the Z51. This thing looks incredible. It punches so high. I'm very excited for what's going to happen in the future. No doubt we will also see Z06s, ZR1s, who knows, different variations that will arrive with even more power. But this is a starting point, as a base at the 500 horsepower level. It's only going to get even better. So I would quite seriously consider it, and I'd be interested in your feedback. Would you like to see one of these on the channel over here in the USA? And in fact, they're actually now announced also, when they launch the coupe, they're going to build them right-hand drive, but they haven't released the details of European pricing and specs and when and all of those kind of things, and final specifications, because these things sometimes change due to regulations. But it's quite exciting that we can actually get them in Europe as well. But something for me, feels like it would be an awesome thing out here in the USA to drive a new Corvette. So what an event then, an opportunity to see here at the launch of the new Corvette 2020 C8 Stingray Convertible. This thing is awesome. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thank you very much, as always, for watching, but that's it for this time. I will see you again very soon. Cheers.